Hi, this is Susanbelle from Patchwork Chicken Studio, and I want to talk about one of my favorite sewing tools that I use for when I'm quilting. And so I quilt the tops of our hot pads, so this is similar to what I would quilt for a hot pad. I also make baby quilts and need to quilt those. And I'm going to show you why you want one of these. So this is a even feed foot, sometimes called a quilting foot. Sometimes called a walking foot. It's technically not a walking foot, but that is a name for it. But this is a hugely important tool for when I quilt, and I'm going to show you why. So I actually have two little pieces of quilt here, and I have two pieces of fabric, and there's some cotton batting here in the middle. And I'm using a regular zigzag foot on my machine, and I'm going to sew a few rows as if I were quilting to show you what the effect is if you just use a regular foot on your sewing machine. I am sewing with a Singer 306 from 1957. This is one of my newer machines, new to me, and I've been putting her through her paces tonight, so I thought I would do this little demonstration. So I've run one row of stitching here, and I want to run another row of stitching. So let's say I'm doing these in rows. That's the way I do hot pads. So I'm going to run a second row here just using the standard zigzag foot. And it wouldn't matter if I was using a straight stitch foot or really any other foot. We're going to have the same effect. So I've made 3 rows of quilting, and I want to show you that there is some puckering. It's really bad on the back. You can really see it on the back. And the reason this happens is because the feed dogs and the pressure foot are all trying to pull this through, but it's kind of thick, and it's loose pieces, so they're going to want to shift to begin with. So the reason we use this instead, this even feed foot, actually pulls through the feed dogs and pulls above the feed dogs with a little rough, you can see these little rough kind of feet on there, and we'll pull it through and we'll help pull the bottom layer of fabric, the top layer of fabric together at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and I can only half see what I'm doing because my camera's in front of my face, so bear with me here. I do have to take the screw completely off to put this on. So you can see there's the part that goes around the presser foot bar, and this, you can see that this moves. This goes on top of the needle clamp, and that's what helps to move it up and down. So as that needle bar is going up and down, it's also lifting this little fork to give me that even feed, and that's what's lifting these this plastic part that has the ridges on the bottom. Like I said, I can't see everything I'm doing here, so bear with me. And I can't put it on unless I do take the screw completely off. Most feet I don't have to remove the screw completely, but in this case, I do. And also, once I get this foot on, I do use a screwdriver to tighten this screw, because the action of the even feed foot will rattle it off. It'll vibrate it loose and it'll come off. You'll break a needle and make a mess. So now I have my other little mini quilt here, and I'm going to go just a little slower so you can see how this works. You can see this is going up and down with that needle clamp, and that's pulling those little ridged feet through, and that is going to give me an even feed on the bottom and the top. So when I flip it around to do another row, I'm just going to go over here. You can already see this is much flatter. I'm not getting that sort of puckering that was going on the other one. And I'll do one more row, and then I can show you the back. So anytime I do this and I forget to put on my even feed foot, I'm always sorry. And I have to take those stitches out and redo it with the even feed foot. So we can see a difference in the puckering here. This is folded, almost folded up. These are very flat, and huge difference on the back. So you can see the big difference here, the puckering, the pulling. There is none of that on this one. So using this foot, this even feed foot, or sometimes called a quilting foot or a walking foot, can really make a difference in getting through fabric, and especially if it's thicker, especially if it's multiple layers and a lot of open stitching, you're going to want to use this. So that's what it looks like. This is a vintage one. I actually have several of these. I wear them out. At some point I wear them out. I use them so much. So I always have 2 or 3. You can buy them on eBay or through several different sewing machine supply places. But yes, this is what this is. This is a Singer brand. There's a Kenmore brand as well. I can use this Singer one on my Kenmore machines or vice versa, as long as they're both low shank. I also have these for my slant shank machines. I have not seen them for a high shank machine, although they may exist. I don't have a high shank machine, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, that's what that is, an even feed or a quilting foot. Now you know what it is.